2020 was a challenging year for us. It actually started out in January and February, fairly good months. Well, then March hit, and the pandemic caused the oil price to collapse. And then we basically were at a standstill.
It was devastating, and to a level that we have never seen before. You know, what did companies do? Well, we saw immediately as they started pulling everything in. They dropped the drilling rigs. We came to about March 8th of 2020. Saudi Arabia and Russia began their price war about curtailing production. It just absolutely decimated this industry, the oil and gas industry.
When March hits and you come to a screaming halt, it's sleepless nights, wondering what you're going to do next and how long is it going to last.
What happened is a lot of people lost their jobs. Good, solid, long-term workforce was put out of business.
The whole world was affected by it, so obviously there were also no jobs and, you know, people getting laid off. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be working.
Eventually, you know, the CARES Act money comes, and our Governor Burgum, working with state officials, decided one of the allocations of that money would be to the North Dakota Industrial Commission and our director, DMR Director Lynn Helms, to take care of a long-standing problem, and that is capping and a permanent abandon to wells that have been abandoned out in the field.
I was in control of the whole project, so I had to hire all the services, starting from the workover rigs, cement companies, roustabouts, water trucks, anything to do with plugging the wells.
We had 3 to 4 rigs going, being that it was such a tight deadline that, you know, we really had to make sure everything was going efficiently. If I had one guy in Burke County, I had to make sure that all the wells he was going to stays in Burke County, because there's no point having all these rigs travel back and forth.
One of the criteria they wanted set up was that we had to use all North Dakota companies that had a home base in North Dakota. Wanted to make sure this money recirculated in North Dakota, so if this thing came back, they had people to work. You know, that was the big thing with this CARES Act money. We wanted to save the services, save this experience. It kept that experience in the state instead of letting these guys leave because they didn't have a job. Oil has kind of come back. Now we've got experienced people still working on these wells instead of having to retrain people, and the cost of retraining these people is astronomical.
That's a lot of invoices, processing that and approving, making sure that that is exactly what we did, and then a fast turnaround, sending that to the state so then we can pay these vendors right away. Because that was one of the goal here is to keep these North Dakota businesses in business.
It was perfect timing to have something like this that took care of a problem for the state, put a lot of good people to work, and keep them around for when the industry got back on its feet.
The roustabouts haul the rods and tubing. We sold it to all the landowners. I sold all the pumping units to one company. And then when it was done, we issued a check to the state for over $250,000.
Fast forward to 2021, oil prices rebounded. There's some optimism in the industry. Companies are starting to put wells back online. Projects are starting up again. So thanks to the P&A project, we were able to keep 100% of our staff on. It helped everyone a lot and took away the sleepless nights. It was the best project I've been involved in, for sure.
We ended up plugging 280 wells. We reclaimed 143 wells, plus 640 acres of land we put back into production. We reclaimed a 50-mile abandoned pipeline, saved about $1 million on costs.